All right, let's talk about something that's basically a ghost story, but for crypto. We're diving into the mystery of the wallets that suddenly wake up.
Okay, so think of the blockchain like this huge, deep ocean. On the surface, you've got millions of transactions happening every single day, right? All that noise. But we're not staying on the surface. We're going way, way down to where the lost treasures are.
Yeah, deep down into the quiet, forgotten parts of that ocean. We're talking about digital vaults that were sealed like a decade ago and haven't made a peep since.
And then, bam! Out of nowhere, a single transaction happens, and it sends these massive shockwaves through the entire community. It's proof that, some ghosts, they don't stay buried.
So why is this such a huge deal? Well, to get it, we've got to jump in a time machine. We need to go back and meet these digital ghosts from crypto's earliest, wildest days.
Think about it. Back in, say, 2010, 2011, a single Bitcoin was worth pennies, literally pennies. People were mining it on their laptops while watching TV just for fun, or, famously trading thousands of them for a couple of pizzas. They just forgot about them. They had absolutely no clue they were sitting on what would become a massive fortune.
And that's where this term comes from, sleeping giants. These are those exact wallets from back in the day holding huge amounts of crypto that haven't moved an inch in years. But here's the crazy part, the real paradox of it all. Every one of these wallets is public. You can go look at them on the blockchain right now, but the person who owns it, completely, totally anonymous.
So, what happens when one of these giants finally decides to wake up? Well, it's not quiet. It's an explosive moment that pretty much gets the whole world watching.
Usually, it all kicks off with just a single notification, something that pops up on some analyst's screen. Dormant wallet from 2011 just moved 500 BTC. But within minutes, that little alert turns into an absolute firestorm online. 500 Bitcoin from a wallet that old? That's a huge deal. The entire crypto world just stops and holds its breath. And of course, the very first question on everyone's mind is the same. Who is it? Who could this be? Who just found the keys to a multi-million-dollar digital time capsule? And the theories just start flying everywhere. Immediately. Could it be some early miner who finally found an old hard drive in their attic? Maybe a hacker who spent years cracking the password? Or, and this is the one everyone secretly hopes for, the ultimate rumor, could it actually be Satoshi? But that who question just opens up an even deeper mystery. It's not just who did it, but why? Why on earth was this wallet silent for a decade or more in the first place? And it really boils down to two main possibilities. On one side, you've got the accidents, the horror stories, the lost hard drive that's now buried under a mountain of trash, the forgotten password, or the seed phrase, that's your master key basically, that went through the laundry. Total accident. But then there's the other possibility. It was all part of a plan. And this really gets to the heart of how some of the earliest people in crypto thought. They weren't just gambling. They were true believers. They had this mindset of, I won't touch this until crypto changes the world. So they locked it away, like burying a treasure chest and vowing not to dig it up until the world was ready.
So what makes them finally dig it up? What's the trigger? Well, it's usually something really human, right? A random memory of an old password just pops into their head. Or they see a news headline and realize the digital dust they mined years ago is now worth millions. Or maybe it's a big life event. They need money for a house or they're ready to retire and they just decide, okay, it's time.
Okay, so the owner decides it's time. But the second that wallet makes a move, the entire market doesn't just watch, it reacts. And that reaction is always this fascinating collision of two really powerful, totally opposite feelings.
Yeah, it's fear versus fascination. On one hand, there's pure fear. People are thinking, what if this whale just dumps everything on the market? That could trigger a massive crash and everyone's worried. But on the other hand, there's just this intense fascination. It's an incredible story. You can't help but wonder, did this person just wake up and find out they're a multi-millionaire? How does a life change in that one single moment?
And really, that's what these awakenings are. Each one is like opening a digital time capsule. It's a message sent from the past, a direct link to the very beginnings of crypto. It's a jolt that reminds everyone just how far this whole experiment has actually come.
And you know what? After a while, the really big ones, the really dramatic awakenings, they stop being just news. They become something more. They become part of the folklore, the mythology of crypto. They turn into legends.
Oh yeah, people in the community still tell these stories.
You've got the legend of the 2012 wallet that just keeps accumulating more and more, but has never spent a single cent. Or that incredible story of the wallet that was dead silent for 9 years and then woke up to sell at the exact peak of a massive bull run. Perfect timing.
And why do these stories stick around? Why are they so powerful? Because they represent the ultimate dream for so many people in crypto, right? It's this idea that just having patience, whether you meant to or not, can literally rewrite your entire life story.
So when we see one of these giants finally move, it's so much more than just a transaction. We're not just looking at numbers on a blockchain explorer. We are watching a story awaken. A story that's been asleep for maybe a decade?
And it's this really powerful reminder that in crypto, history doesn't just disappear. It doesn't get buried and lost forever. It's just waiting, preserved on the blockchain, and it's ready to wake up at any moment.
Which of course leaves us with one last, kind of chilling thought. We know for a fact that there are thousands of these sleeping wallets still out there, just silent, waiting. So the real question is, when will the next ghost awaken?